Hey board game geeks, this is your local board game guru from NerdOD, Doddy, bringing you along another episode. This review is of Temp Worker Assassins, which was created by a quality gent called David Newton. I met him at Manchester Games Expo this year, played the game with Sean from NerdOD, and I absolutely loved it. I purchased the game straight away. Gutted I missed the Kickstarter, but this game is phenomenal. It's quickly played. It's brilliant. So let me go through the basics. It's a worker placement deck building game where you're trying to work your way up the chain of command in an office. And the only way to do that is to kill off the people who are above you and score points that way. The game is played over 5 rounds because there's 5 working days in a week, and each player has 5 meeples, and you're going to take it in turn to place a meeple on various locations. Each location is unique and different, as you can see, and some have multiple places where you can go. Some of them are fun, some of them are potential blockers. The whole idea is you're going to place your meeples out there to gain bonuses and benefits. For instance, this top one up here will give you +2 attack for every assassination attempt, which is great later on in the game. To start off with, it's okay because you'll be able to nitpick at the enemy, but later on it'll be a lot better. However, the one beneath it allows you to swap out one assassin with another assassin, so if your first move is to go there, someone can go there and switch them straight away. Which, why wouldn't you? So basically, you start off with 5 cards in your hand from your deck. Everyone has the same starting deck, which will give you like +1 attacks. It's pencil, +0 attack, and discard card, draw a card, paper. You'll draw 5 of these. Your minimum hand size is 5, but there is no maximum because you're going to be gaining cards into your hand until you attempt an assassination. Once you attempt an assassination, every card in your hand is discarded. And then your meeple is basically placed here in security, which it isn't a bad thing. It just resets your hand completely, so you may as well play everything in your hand that you can. But then there's other factors towards the left hand side. I've set it up like this is the recommended starting setup, just to give you guys an idea of how to play it. At the top it's game 1, draw 1, and where it says game 1, you gain one of these 4 here, and you draw an additional card from your deck. So the good thing is you're gaining a card that you can see and you go, alright, fair enough. This is where the pencils come in. If you get the pencil sharpener, for instance, up to 3 of the pencils that you have in your hand that you play for an assassination get an additional +1, which is brilliant. Combine that with this little doohickey, which you can copy the pencil sharpener with. Never copy the pencil, always copy the pencil sharpener. Which I found out when I first played it with Sean, which I absolutely thrashed him. He'll deny it with his puny 31 points compared to my 62 odd. It is a push your luck game. Whether you succeed in an assassination attempt or not, it's worth a go. If you're successful in the assassination, you gain a bonus card for that day. So if you're the first one to do it, you'll gain this card for Monday's benefit, which goes into your discard pile, and it'll just continue to cycle through, and the cards get better throughout the week. The more bad guys you kill, the more points you're going to get, which is brilliant. I missed one of the locations. This one, the R&D department, where it's got the number 4, you draw 4 cards from the top of the deck, and then you decide which one you want and put the rest in the discard pile and the one that you want into your hand. So that one's pretty good. And there's a trash mechanic as well. Once you hit a certain point, you want to be getting rid of some of your pencils. For instance, this one. You just want to discard, or you want to trash that as soon as you can. Well, there's a couple in there. Just to get the better cards out. Now, everything works as a location that you can see. Every card is pretty much a location bar, obviously the equipment. So when you assassinate a monster, you declare it by throwing your meeple on that said monster, and then automatically your assassination attempt begins. You put cards down in the order you wish to put them down with, which is where like copying a card comes in handy. Like if you were to copy that one, which I did frequently in my game, it's brilliant because it gives you +1 attack, draw a card, and then you copy it, +1 attack, draw a card, which gets you more cards in your hand. And I pushed my luck twice in that game on some heavy hitters, and both times it worked, and it worked in my favour. That's why I got so many points. Each creature, I just brought out the bog standard minion here, has a health value and a point value. Now, this guy is up at the top, and they're always in play, these ones, and they're not really worth a lot of points, but there are some of the big guys at the back end there. If I bring it down, you can read the text. For each disc in your deck, getting tongue tied today, it's worth 2 points for each one you have. And there are various different types of discs. Let's see, I'm not going to pull one out now, am I? Oh, there you go. So, not so floppy disk. So, having that in combination with that, you're going to score more points. I like this one as well. +1 attack, then +1 attack for every 3 targets that you've already killed. That's basically more people you kill, the more pluses you're going to get when you play this card. It's all about pluses. It's all about killing the biggest, baddest people right at the top to get the points. But at the same time, the bonus cards are what you're after as well. It's the best way to describe it. You want to get the points as well as the cards, whilst trying to block your opponents from getting the good stuff, because you want it as well. And that's what makes it a bit of a I want to say player versus player, but there is no cooperation in this whatsoever. It is who can score the most points. I would like to see, if David wants to do an expansion, more of a player versus player element to it, where you can selectively screw each other over, or have an event deck which kind of influences someone's play style or play effects, which is going to affect the way a turn or a round is going to be played out by someone. That's how I'd like to see it. But I fell in love with this game as soon as I played it, as soon as I picked it up, as soon as we started. I knew about deck builders. Having the meeple placement kind of restricts you, but it makes you more select into the process you want to go for. And I noticed as well, there isn't really a power play. Most deck builders have a select power play where one player will pick something which will give them more attack, and another one will pick something which gives them more resources. This doesn't. This is pretty level across the board, where everything has X amount of attack, or X amount of draw cards, or trash a card, gain a card, and no one can go past the other player, if that makes sense. No one can push beyond and break the game. It is very well balanced and very well created. Even the artwork, like, I'll bring the minion in again, is beautiful. But I would like to see a more player versus player element, or even having avatars, select avatars which give you bonuses in the game. Maybe that will give I'm trying to think of the best way of describing it. Yeah, I like to see a bit more from it. The game plays really well and it's an excellent buy. I mean, I think it cost me $24.99 for the game. And with that, I got a sneaky promo card. So that's always a benefit. I've had a look on quickly online and it's still the same price. It's $24.99. So I would recommend this game. David Newton, if you actually get around to watching this video, can we have an expansion that gives us avatars and focuses a bit more on the PvP element? That would be awesome. Yeah, that's what I'd like to see. Other than that, that is a very quick review of this game. It is one of my favourites. It is going to be on the table quite a bit. And I do enjoy it. So, if you're bored, come see us at NerdOD. There's a fair few blogs, there's a fair few podcasts, and I'll see you on the next one. Have fun.